going to call the meeting to order.
Thank you, Ms. Cox. It is 5:30. I do call this city council meeting to order on June 6, 2022 at 5:30. We'll have the invocation. Ms. Cox will get that, and we'll have pledge of allegiance by me, and then we'll have a roll call, and we'll go from there on to
You bow with me. Dear Heavenly Father, please count the outpouring of citizens that's come tonight to discuss with the council the things that are before them, Lord. We just pray that you would be with both sides and that everyone would listen and everyone would be understanding. We just thank you for the day that you give us. Just right. Amen.
I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Julie. I told you I was going to get the.
We're good.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. All right, let's go to the consent agenda. Approval, item 5, approval of minutes, regular council meeting May 2nd, 2022. B, fiscal 23 budget public hearing, May 2nd, 2022. Approval of the treasurer's report. Approval of May 2022 payroll figures for the general fund in the amount of $57,617.44. Receipt of claims, City of Eufaula. Item 9, consideration of acceptance, approval, adoption, rejection, amendment, and/or postponement of a proclamation of the mayor of the City of Eufaula, Oklahoma, proclaiming the month of June 2022 as LGBTQ Pride Month in the City of Eufaula. Council?
I'd like to make a motion to remove number 9 from the consent agenda for discussion.
Okay. Item 9 will be removed for discussion.
I'll say.
Okay.
Councilor Davis,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Mauser,
Yes.
Yes.
Councilor Kirby.
Yes. Okay, item 9 will be removed. Let's go ahead and, council, let's make a motion to approve 5, 6, 7, and 8.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Councilor Davis,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Mauser,
Yes.
Mayor Warren,
Yes.
Councilor Kirby.
Yes.
All right, let's move to item 9 that was removed from the consent agenda. I have Mr. Ronnie Drake that would like to speak on that.
Well, I'd like to thank the council for this opportunity to speak here this evening. And I feel like I speak in behalf of,
Sir, if you need to address the council.
I'm sorry.
That's all right. That's all right.
I
Just
don't know.
a reminder,
Like 2 minutes.
3 minutes.
Okay. Just that I feel like I represent the congregation of church. I pastor the First Free Will Baptist Church here in Eufaula. Been a citizen of Eufaula all my life. Graduated from high school here and have a pretty good consensus, I think, on the way our community feels about this LGBT thing. And we just want the opportunity to speak to you tonight and let you know that we feel like that that would not be something that we want to support in our community. Support that, having no animosity towards anyone whatsoever, but just simply that's our convictions and that's our beliefs, and I feel like we speak in behalf of the citizens of Eufaula.
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. Okay, next we have Ms. Weldon.
My name is Karen Weldon. I'm a lesbian. I've been married. I'm in a relationship with Suzanne Bain and have been for 31 years. I've lived in this community for 26 years. I've been a very active member of this community. And that's what this proclamation is about, is proclaiming the work and the value and the contributions of the LGBTQ community in Eufaula. I believe in the separation of church and state. This is not about religion. This is about I am and who my sisters and brothers are. I want to ask if you're here in support of this proclamation that you stand.
This is for
I
each
understand.
speaker to address 5. It's not for audience participation.
Don't make a decision that further hurts the self-esteem of young LGBT. You have no idea how they get hurt from the rejection of community. Don't add to that. It hurts no one to proclaim our work, our contributions, our pride of who we are. Help us.
Thank you, Ms. Weldon. Ms. Albro,
Hey,
there she is.
I was hiding.
I didn't see you back there.
How's everybody doing? Thanks for letting me talk. I did not know this was on the agenda at all, and I saw it, I was like, oh, I had to say something. And the reason why I have to get up and say something is because I am an ally, but more importantly, because I think it's really important that as a government entity, we don't cross that line with a religious proclamation situation, right? You know, freedom of religion allows us to believe whatever religion or whatever we want, right? And you can have June Pride and still believe what you believe, right? Whatever that may be. And, you know, just like any other group in our society that struggle for rights, struggle for a place that feels like an equal spot in our society, so is LGBT. And they're starting that adventure or trail or whatever you want to call it a little later than some others and trying to make some headway as well. And I don't think there's a crime in that. I don't think there's a problem in that. I don't think there's anything wrong with showing support for a human being. And certainly not neglecting that support over a specific religious view, because there's so many religious views. And not all of them feel that way. And not everyone in Eufaula feels like it's a problem. In fact, I would guess that my son's high school class probably had 25% people that identify in the town of Eufaula as gay, lesbian, or bisexual. Okay, so I don't know about the rest, but I know that I've met those people. I've had them to my house, those young kids. I've had them to my house, met their parents, all of which those families are trying so hard to create opportunity for living a normal life. And I'll be honest with you, you know, that's got to be rough, especially when you have folks in a community that just are it's really just giving people the opportunity to live their lives. And it's not up to us how they live their lives in private. It's not up to us how they live their lives in private. I mean, Lord knows, I hope none of y'all are thinking about how I live my life in private, right? We're not thinking about how you do it. We shouldn't be thinking about how anyone else does it. This is just this is just where they are. They're just trying to gain the same rights. And I guess privilege, I don't know what the right word is, but they want to be in the same spot that people who have full equality have. Thank you. Okay, so that's really all I had to say. I'm repeating myself at this point, but thank you for listening. And if you don't agree with me, that's perfectly fine. No,
Thank you, Ms. Hall.
thanks.
Okay, council. Back to number 9. What would you like to do?
Well, I agree that people should be able to live their lives any way they believe, whatever their beliefs are. And I'm not gonna judge them for that, because we all know we only have one judge. So, I don't wanna be judged for the way I live my life. I'm not gonna judge you for the way you live your life. I'm fine. But I don't think we have to declare a proclamation. That's my thoughts on it. Anybody else have-
And I totally agree with that. You know, one of the greatest gifts that we can give anybody is love. That is the greatest gift we can give anybody. And you don't have to declare anything to give somebody love. And you don't have to do it to make somebody feel welcome into the community. Because I feel like I welcome anybody in this community. Because they have just as much right to this community as I have. So it doesn't matter what your gender may be, you're still welcome. But you don't have to declare something to be welcome. And I'm not bringing religion, anything like that in. That's just the way it is. Everybody gonna have different points of view. And no matter what you do, you'll never ever make everybody happy. But you have to do what you feel is right. And that's what I'm trying to do, what I feel is right. And that's all I can do.
I agree with Mr. Davis. We're here to do what we think is right, make the right decisions. Everyone's welcome to our community. Everyone in Oklahoma. And I say that with my heart because I love my community. I worked for the city for almost 19 years, and that was blood, sweat, tears. And I wouldn't be if I didn't mean that. Because it don't pay us nothing to be a city council member, really. We do it because we love our city. So everyone's welcome here. That's all I have.
I agree. I just buried my dad yesterday. Sat at the funeral next to a young lady who happened to be my niece. She was a lesbian, married to another fine lady, and they've adopted 2 fine young kids. Don't have a problem with it. I love her just as much as I love my own daughters. But she doesn't push that onto me. When I was running for this seat, and some of you know out there, I said that I would not be able to please everyone. And I told people up front, I'm going to vote. I think is right, what is best for the whole city. And I hope I've tried to do that. No problem with us. Right now, I'm in that situation where we lose someone close like Father. You feel the love and outpouring that I have, that my family has for the loss. And city of Eufaula, for the whole city. I think that what we as a council have to do is do what's best. Okay. All right. Do I have a motion on number 9?
Not to approve, is that
Counselor.
I said
Mauser,
yes?
yes. Item 10, consider consideration of acceptance, approval, adoption, rejection, amendment, and postponement to approve an application zone change from R1 residential to commercial general at the following of Block 4, Block 50 of the city of Eufaula, commonly as the corner lot of F Street and Lincoln Avenue. Had this before us last month. Would you like to bring anything up to any difference?
Same information. At the last council meeting, because it died for lack of a second, so there was no vote, so there was no rejection, so therefore it made it eligible to come back to the city council agenda for this month. And you folks have the same minutes and same information, same plan.
Yeah, it's the same thing as we had. Same thing as we had. Your ideas on item 10.
Mr. Hale.
Okay. Well, would you like to speak to the council on this? Talk about this.
And maintenance area. We don't have any other claims other than that. No massage parlor or any other business. We just gonna be straight off. So that usage. I'm happy to answer any questions you might have.
What would be the hours of operation?
The hours of operation, usually normal business hours, anywhere from 9 to 5, 9 to 6, it's not gonna be one of those that be running over, like our RV resort or anything like that, that be running or something like that. It's gonna be the normal business hours. We don't usually handle anything out of our maintenance shed or anything outside of normal business hours.
Okay, out of your-
9 to 6.
Out of your maintenance shed, what are we talking about doing out of that maintenance shed?
Oh, it'll be basically a storage facility. It'll also include the laundry facility. So therefore, it'll store all parts and anything like that, any of our lawnmowers, machinery, stuff like that. It'll allow us to maintain those vehicles facility will handle, the whole park. You know, we've got, 30, right at 30 cabins plus, condos and stuff like that that need laundry changed and facilities, facilitated to make it better. It'll also handle the, most of the housekeeping needs for maintaining trash pickup and stuff all around the park. Golf carts, stuff like that, be maintained and facilitated within those hours.
Okay, so let's say after 6 o'clock, it's gonna be, there will be no noise after,
No,
say. Council, any questions? Mr. Hill?
And you gonna say that they're gonna like, there'll be no mowing doing church service, anything like that? To where when they try to have church service, that you know, to disturb them?
yes, I actually had a meeting, with one of the pastors, with Dan, before he retired with us. And, yeah, we had a meeting with him and any of the church leaders, if they have service hours or something like that, that we're gonna try to accommodate whatever those noise levels are at that time. The one issue that we had last year was in relation to our Bluegrass Festival, when they got out there practicing too early. We were notified and immediately, we shut them down and got them to stop. I did find out from the pastor, you'll have to forgive me, I can't remember his name offhand, but we did discuss what his hours of operation as far as, when the services and stuff like that was going on Sundays. He also mentioned some other days of the week that he would like to be facilitating. I told him just let us know what those days are and we'd make sure we accommodate those hours. And on top of that, whatever position he may have, because they have special events and stuff going on there at the church too. And, we've done whatever arrangement we need to do to make sure those mowing and all that stuff. We've got a big park. You know, it's a big area, plenty of places to mow and weed eat other than right next to the church on Sunday morning. So, we made those, situations where we can turn around and do those on Monday and Tuesday mornings and facilitate their needs and making sure that the noise factor stays away. We've also, in regards to the Bluegrass Festival, we're gonna make sure those things, this year it's not gonna be on a Sunday. Last year we had it on a Sunday. This year it's not gonna be on a Sunday. We also discuss any kind of events that we have. We make sure we push those hours past the time service would start on Sunday mornings. I wanna work in any way possible with the ministers and the churches there in our area to make sure that we facilitate whatever they have going on at those hours.
That's one of the main factors in this is the churches and the people over there.
Yeah. Well, I think that's part of what we've done. I mean, if you really look at it in regards to the restaurants and bars, we've been able to do all that stuff and get all those hours of operation back. Those things were going to 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. So we made every effort to get those things where they shut down and try to focus more on a family-friendly atmosphere and less focused on the party part of the code, you know, more focused on bringing the family together to have a good, fun, entertaining area. Not only for the city, but for us here at the Coles.
Okay,
So you're already mowing before that building's built. You're
Oh,
already
yeah, we're
mowing.
no matter
So
what.
the building doesn't have any relevance really.
That's right, that's right. But it did have a relevance to the pastor, and in that we did a couple of things that kind of, in the mowing actually wasn't even us anyway. The day we caught somebody mowing, it wasn't even our crew anyway, it was another crew. But it doesn't mean we undermine his concern about us having noise and effect going on there at the church hours. I've opened the doors and given my phone number. He's welcome to call me whenever he has, or any other person in their community. They're welcome to come by and visit with me. If they've got something going on and it feels like it might interact with ours, we'd be happy to accommodate those situations. The best way.
where's your office at, sir, in case I get phone calls?
I'm in the main RV resort. Go up
Okay.
there and you talk to the front desk, tell them you want to talk to me. I'll be there.
Okay.
So I'm there 7 days a week. I work a lot for, right alongside Red Run. I do 7 days a week. I'm there at all times, all days. Unless my daughter comes to town, and then the resort's second nature to my girls. So.
Okay.
Yeah, you can get in reach with me in any way, any time. I'll be happy to sit down and talk to you.
Sir, All right, council. What would you like on item 10?
Ma'am, if you would like to speak, you need this.
Pardon
Did
me?
you give
Did
me
you sign in?
yellow sheet?
I have,
No one's asked me to sign.
They're right over here. If I can get you to sign in, if you'd
Could
like
you
to.
bring it to me, please? Thank you.
You're welcome. If you'll go ahead and have a seat, I'll pick it up from you. Just a moment.
I can't stand here if I don't.
You got people ahead of
we got people ahead of you, huh?
Oh, okay.
Mrs. McCoy. You're on item 10.
Good evening, and thank y'all for allowing me a chance to speak. I wanted to respond to Mr. Hill. I know, last time the concern was, what was actually gonna be in that, in the church. And the concern was about the noise and the other things that we experienced, being there in the community. We've been in that community, like I said, 139 years. And not one time has anybody, our members or people in the community did anything against Extreme or try to make it difficult for them in any way. We put up with a lot from Extreme, a lot of noise and practicing like Mr. Hill addressed that just a minute ago. But it takes the members, if you don't say anything and you keep allowing people to do what they do, it's gonna keep happening. Now, the only reason they stopped those concerts from going 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning is because somebody brought it to their attention. It's not something they consider. As people in a residential community and a church. So that's why I have some concerns about what actually is going to be put there behind the church. You know, it said before that you can say one thing, then you change your mind and do something else. So what guarantee do we have in that community that it's going to be something other than what he said? We have to trust that, you know, he's going to do what he said he's going to do. And I haven't seen anything that the community trusts Extreme in doing what they said they're going to do. So I still have an issue. I still wanted to raise that issue. And nothing against anybody, Mr. Hill, Extreme, or nobody. I'm just saying what the community has been doing. We've been in this community a long time. I was born and raised here in Fall Home, which school graduated. And I have a great concern because I've always gone to church here at that church. And, you know, if people are really that concerned about the Black community, I don't see anybody coming up and talking to us about anything. Things are done before anybody even come in. We have a city council. I've seen, have been in our church that I know of. I venture to even say that he even knows who our pastor is. Except for the day he was here, and I'm not sure if he even knew who he was then. But what I'm saying is, we're tired of being walked on. We're tired of being misused. It's our community. We've been there forever. And Extreme comes in, and I have no problem with progress. Don't get me wrong. I have no problem with that. But what has Extreme done for that community since they've been allowed to move in there and rezone and do all these things? My aunt lives right behind that RV place. And all they did was put up a little chain link fence with covers around it. She still gets all that. She's 80-something years old. So that's my concern. This shouldn't be just about making money. The concerns of the community as a whole. It's a nice area where we live, that's fine, that's all fine and good, and if people wanna sell, that's fine. But what I'm saying is, we're not going anywhere, the church. Unless we're burned down and out, we're not going anywhere. That church is gonna be there in that community for probably another 140 years. So if that's the case, then I think that Extreme needs to, and the city needs to consider, what can we do in that community to help people that's been there all the time? Not move us out, but work with us and come, put something there that we all enjoy, not just for Extreme to make money. Because we haven't done anything but try to be tolerant of the progress, which progress costs us people a lot of pain and a lot of heartache, especially in our community. And that's all I'm saying. I don't think we have anything against Extreme. Our children go down there and participate. So is that my 3 minutes?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, I appreciate y'all listening.
Yes, ma'am. All right. Is this? She's on 11 and 12.
Well, I meant to put 10, but.
You meant to
Yeah,
put
put
10?
10, 11, and 12. didn't
Okay, well then we'll have you up here next.
Was I supposed to
Miss-
use numbers?
Well, it helped, but what number did you want to speak? 10? All right, Miss Watts, it's you.
Okay. I agree with, Ms. McCoy and what she said. My concerns is the rezoning to commercial. You know, when the law was there, I try to make that quick, and I'm not gonna walk out again. My concern is that some of the history, you people have been here a long time ago, that's where some of the black community was. When the lake come in, they moved to where they are now. And I am for you follow progress. But it's not what you do, it's the way you go about getting it done. And the residents of the communities there have lived there, some there, you know, I moved to Eufaula in 1982, 42, 3 years. But my concern is rezoning personal property into commercial. And my take is, and my thoughts are, and I think I can, more people feel the way I do, getting all this commercial stuff to move most of them right there behind Extreme is black people, Caucasians. Rezoning commercial to move us out. And the one that's not gonna sell, don't stay there. All of this around them so they can get tired and move. That's my take on this. And I have a problem with this. Nobody considered, it appears that nobody cares. Put yourself in our place. Think about what I'm saying. Trust. I'm beginning to lose all of my trust with the city of Eufaula. Not everybody, I'm not talking about the residents, people in business. I shop here, I pay tax here, I do everything I can to help Eufaula. But probably, what I'm seeing is you're pushing us out. See, you get all this rezoning, all this commercial around, and then here you go. All around the community. What's next? What you trying to do? To get us get tired and we move out? There's no houses here. What about?
grants or some kind of help or show us a way that we can go to improve the community. You want all of that property over there, including my property, to be free. I have a concern about that. And I'm talking to the councilman, the city manager, all the above. What can you do to make it better for us to help us? Improving the residential. For my address, there's property. I drove all around you all looking for all this property. Why can't they build something over there? You just drive right down there to the lake. And I have a lot of concern for that. And I'm gonna stand there and I'm gonna talk about this until the Lord call me away. And I'm gonna see us stand every time this come up. I'll be right here. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Watts. All right, I believe this is, Mrs., well, no. Angie, you're next.
I'm getting to know all my neighbors around here because I've always been a Texan. But I have to say, I have the same concerns as the last two, Ms. McCoy and Ms. Watts, because I feel the push. They get one thing, and then how long before they want something else? You know, they're pushing and pushing, and I know, I grew up in this town. I know how much our Black community has evolved from the way we went to school. You know, and I don't want to see them get hurt because I feel like that's why it's, yeah, we are a long time, you know, we're longtime residents. We're not just summer residents. And I want the town to grow, but I think it needs to stop because if they get this approval, what happens if in 2 or 3 years, management changes and they decide, or ownership changes and they decide they want to do something different than laundry or a maintenance building? And can the water supply handle another laundry facility? Can our sewer system handle it there? And as far as the noise and stuff, maybe Extreme could put up the walls like you see in the larger towns that block highway noise, you know, so that it quietens it down a little bit for the residents. It's just changing the zoning. Once we change the zoning, what happens in a few years? You know, that's my take on it, is we don't know what will happen in a couple of years. You know, if they decide to sell or whatever, somebody new comes in, all the problems that everybody's worried about can happen. That's just my take on it, and my suggestion on cutting back the noise and everything. You know, once the more we zone commercial, the further it pushes into the individuals, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? Into the community, that's housing community. So, you know, we need to stop that at some point.
Thank you, ma'am. I can't read this writing here, ma'am.
Glenda Brown.
Glenda, okay, you're next, okay?
Thank you. Good evening. I'm gonna speak to the council members.
I have a prophecy for you all. I was told to tell the council members that I am God. See all. Yes, he does. Members, I am is a holy God. Yes, he is. I am is required righteousness in this meeting. Yes, he is. I am is going to demand righteousness. Yes, he is. Is there anything too hard for I am? No, nothing. Be truthful and do what is right. I am see all of the deceit, and it must stop immediately. Do you understand? You all are going to repent. Do you understand? I am sits high and see low. Yes, he does. Sons and daughters, I am loved all people, not one set of people. I am is love and not hatred. I am see all the injustice that's going on in Eufaula, Oklahoma.
Ma'am, you need to stay on the topic of.
I am. I'm basing what I was sent here to do. I have a right to speak.
Okay, you have 3 minutes.
Okay, I'll read it fast and loud.
The city attorney said your time was up.
Started at 6:10, it's 6:10.
Hey, I have a right to speak. Free
Ma'am.
speech.
3 minutes.
Ma'am, it's in our rules.
Remember, I am still on the throne and needs no help. Members don't continue to deceive the people.
Ma'am,
Members, you all have been warned.
ma'am,
Information in
ma'am,
certain ones' hands
chief,
and fix your household, family,
Ma'am.
friends, and others that you want to reward with the funds that you receive from the government or other organizations.
there's rules that we go by.
But you didn't say 3 minutes when I got up here.
It's on our,
I don't have one, I just came in.
thank you, ma'am. Okay. I can't read this name either. Just hand it to me. Zach, I can see Zach. This looks like Brady.
Hi, y'all. Well, Mr. Floyd, you're right. This town is so rich in heritage that people don't realize about. Just the other day at the bank, we were talking about how generational people do not realize who the Selmans are, what J.C. Watt's accomplishments were, things like that. I agree. With that, though, we have to be careful about commercial growth, non-commercial growth, yada, 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 yada. Our average median in this town is like $22,000 per part. It's so low, okay? I'm not here for extreme, against extreme, and with that. We have to move forward. If we start saying, well, this property which somebody bought, which now our property values have increased dramatically over the last 5 years around here. This isn't about pushing somebody out, pushing somebody in. It's about working together, unifying as a community, working together on it. When I approached Extreme the idea of using the code for the Kids Fishing Classic this weekend, okay, one thing Phil and I talked about was the unity, making sure that it was all, that anybody and everybody was there. I think Extreme gets a bad rap sometimes because of, I hate to use the word takeover, but the amount of land or amount of property that's been purchased in the code. But guys, it's a positive. It is a positive for this community. And I'm telling you guys that wholeheartedly. The reason we opened up our business here is because of what Extreme did. Okay? The reason I sold my house to buy inventory to make us a destination store for the town of Eufaula because of what the vision Extreme had. Okay? We as a community have to work together. The churches, whatever. I mean, the two topics at hand tonight kind of makes your blood. Guys, we have an awesome town. We have an awesome business in Extreme and what they do. Okay? You may not see it, but I can promise you 85% of our money that is in our store is out of town people. That enlarges our tax revenue. It benefits us. We have better sewer, we have better police, we have better response times. There's so much to it. My soapbox is we have to work together as a community. If we start limiting when somebody buys a piece of property and says, and if they have an outline plan that says this is what we're going to do, and that is stamped, that's what we have zoning and planning. And we got to hold their feet to the fire for that. I understand that you don't want a bar right up against your church. I mean, 100%. I understand the noise concern. Just watch every city council meeting. Your family is a fixture of this town. That heritage can't be lost. Same one with the Black community, the Black church that we have for 140 years. That's history. That has to be preserved. But fighting over a couple of pieces of property isn't preserving it whatsoever. Preserving it is us sitting down as a community and saying, what can we do? How do we embrace each other? I want to know more about your family. I want to know more about what made this town. Like I said, I love this place. I'm glad I'm here, and I'm glad for everybody that's a citizen.
Thank you, sir. Okay, Mr. Kirby?
All right. I want to tell, I'm going to tell.
Okay.
I want to set some things straight. Number one, I've been here a long time. Some of these here that have been talking tonight. Graduated from high school here in 1976. I've been here a long time. Okay. I've spent countless. Most of you guys know that. I've got friends, raised over there. I know that at one time there was a restaurant over there that I saw fights all the time, lots of noise. Nobody ever talked about that. And I can speak of Extreme, but I no longer work there. I retired last week, and so I'm a lot happier person. But one of the reasons that Mr. Henry purchased Cat Daddies would stay open till 2 o'clock in the morning with thumping loud music. People heard it all the way from River Oaks to the other side of town. And he didn't like it, so he shut it down. He wasn't told by the city to shut it down the other side of town. And he didn't like it, so he shut it down. He wasn't told by the city to shut it down at 11 o'clock. He shut it down at 11 o'clock. We have a curfew in the RV resort. It's 11 o'clock. Noise is supposed to shut down at 11 o'clock. That's Mr. Henry's rule. He's done a whole lot of things. He hasn't purchased as much land from the community on the east side as what's been led or what's been told. He's purchased 2 pieces of property from the community, and he didn't strong arm anybody into selling. In fact, he sat back and they came to him and offered, what will you give me for this lot? I know for a fact he did because I'm a realtor. I'm the one that sold it to him. I know how they came, okay? He's only purchased 2 lots. He purchased the marina, Yogi Bears, and that little house. All together came with in a package deal. Guy wanted to sell it to him. So they made a deal and he bought it. Y'all forget the amphitheater it was in ruins pretty much. Remember that big old giant pile of dirt with the grass up over your head? The fence was falling down. That was sitting there for 3 years. Nothing was being done with that until Mr. Henry bought that and turned it into an RV resort. It had sat there. He had a vision that he wanted to help Eufaula. And I know that's a true story because I worked for him for 4 years. He really does want to see Eufaula grow. And what Mr. Zach said just now about people coming to Eufaula and bringing their businesses to Eufaula, a lot of it has to do with Extreme, because they know that there's out-of-town money coming in now. I think that it's good progress. If you don't want to sell your property to him, don't sell it. He's not going to go out and make you sell it to him. And he's doing all he can with Mr. Hell. Mr. Hell came in to be his CFO and to help him. And they have bent over backwards trying to work with the community to help make this a better town, bring in more tax dollars, and try to work with the community. I told Miss Emma last meeting that I'd come over to the church and talk to him. I made a phone call to one of the members and asked her if she told me she could set up a meeting, left a message for her on her phone. And I did, and she never called me back. That's a fact. Never called me back. So it's not like I'm not. But I'm just saying.
We're not gonna get into an
No.
argument here.
I'm just saying, Todd, that what I'm gonna say is that the Extreme is a
I understand, Mr.
business,
Kirby.
and that's it.
Ms. Watts, we're not gonna get into an argument.
I'm arguing with him.
Okay, I understand, and then his minutes are up anyway.
I love you.
All right, we're gonna go to back to item 10. Council, what is your pleasure on item 10?
Make a motion to approve like I did last time.
I second it.
Councilor Davis,
No.
Vice Mayor Melzer,
Yes.
Mayor Moore,
No.
Councilor Kirby.
Yes.
2 yeses, 2 nos, we're locked down.
Yes.
We'll have to bring this back next council meeting.
You can, hopefully you have 5.
Yes, so when we have 5, be the tiebreaker. I make a motion to bring it back to the next council meeting. Can I get a second?
Well, that'll just be preparation of the agenda.
Okay.
That's not on the agenda to.
Okay. However, we
re-agenda
need to do it
it.
legally.
Right.
Move to item 11. Consideration of acceptance, approval, adoption, rejection, amendment, and/or postponement to approve an application for a zone change from R1 residential to commercial general at the following location: the east 50 feet of Block 4 and Block 50 of the city of Eufaula, commonly known as 307 East Lincoln. Council, what's your pleasure?
I'll make a motion, we pass.
I'll second.
Ms. Cox?
Councilor Davis,
Yes.
okay, let me make sure I understand the motion. Motion to pass it to the next, or motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
All right, let's make, okay, because you said pass, I want to make sure we understand what we're voting on. So Counselor Davis.
I'm glad you made that
Clear, yeah.
clear. Because I thought he'd make a motion to pass it on. No.
Vice Mayor Mauser,
Yes.
Mayor Warren,
No.
Counselor Kirby.
Yes.
2 yes, 2 no's. That motion don't carry. We're tied down on it again. We'll move on to item 12. Consideration of acceptance, approval, adoption, rejection, amendment, or postponement to ordinance 22-06-01, providing for the annulment, vacation, discontinuance of a portion of a public way known as Clifford Seal Street.
I can explain this a little bit, Mayor.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so
I'm gonna
from
let you do that.
this section of road is from the intersection of B and Clifford Seals, as Clifford Seals is today. There is a right of way, a street right of way that runs from that intersection west to the railroad tracks by Mr. Shine's house. And this ordinance vacates that area, that street area. That's what it's doing. Property is owned by Debbie Bailey, and I couldn't tell you, I'm not from here, so I can't tell you how long there hasn't been a street there. But I know there's not a street there now, and it's there. So it was originally platted back in the day, and so this ordinance is to vacate that street area from B Street to the railroad tracks. That's all it is.
There is a concrete structure there, drainage structure. It's been there for a long time, but there's never been a street there that I can ever remember. I mean, it's probably platted as a street, like you say, but I've never.
And she's asking for that so she can, just cleans the property up. She can go in and make improvements to, take the trees out and whatnot. It's probably gonna help it make it a little bit more marketable piece of property, not having that, street easement there. Street right away.
Okay, council, any questions for Mr. Jones?
I'll make a motion to pass it.
I'll second.
Counselor Davis,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Mauser,
Yes.
Mayor Warren,
Yes.
Counselor Kirby.
Yes.
All yes, that motion carries. We'll move on to item 13, consideration of acceptance, approval, adoption, rejection, amendment, and or postponement of resolution 22-0602, adopting the fiscal year 2022-2023 budget for the general fund, airport fund, cemetery perpetual care fund, CIP fund, disaster emergency fund, health department fund, police account fund, police drug fund, recreation account fund, and the RBS South Point project fund. Guys, if y'all don't mind not talking while we're having a meeting, we're trying to conduct business, I would appreciate that.
Were we too loud?
Yes.
Sorry.
Sorry about that.
Okay, thank you. Council, what's your pleasure on item 13 on approving the budget?
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Counselor Davis,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Mauser,
Yes.
Mayor Warren,
Yes.
Counselor Kirby.
Yes.
All yes, that motion carries. We'll go to item 14, consideration of acceptance, approval, adoption, rejection, amendment, and or postponement of an annual lease agreement for the community center with MC Nutrition Services Corporation for July 1, 2022. Mr. Jones, can you bring us up to date?
I sure can. So currently, the community, the senior center uses a service called SAC, SAC, to provide the nutrition services for the meals. EODD They're the ones that fund the senior meals program. They are changing to a new service provider. New service provider is the MC Nutrition Services. This lease agreement, they take over the services provided here on July 1. And this lease agreement begins July 1 for the next fiscal year, and to go along with those new services provided by that service provider. Same, as far as the amounts go, same monthly rent, nothing changes, same terms, same everything, other than the name on the lease. That's the only difference between the two.
Council, any other questions for Mr. Jones? Okay, I'll make a motion.
Are we still possibly looking at selling this building at some point in the near future?
We haven't had any recent discussions about that,
I know
but
it's
could we? Yes, we probably, it's very possible that those discussions could take. But we have not had anything, we haven't marketed the property or anything like that actively.
We do this lease, is that gonna help or not help?
Till our lease payment, the payments they make to us will be the same, right?
The
Correct?
same, they're the same no matter what. And the lease is only for a year. It's just for this fiscal year.
I make a motion to approve the lease.
I second.
Councilor Davis,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Mauser,
Yes.
Mayor Warren,
Yes.
Councilman Kirby.
Yes.
Yes, that motion carries. Item 15, remarks required by City Council. Mr. Davis, do you have anything? Vice Mayor? Lee, you've done a great job. Your guys done a great job on getting the city prepared for the holiday. It looked great. Mr. Good done a great job. Fire Chief, you guys done an excellent job. Appreciate y'all. Kirby? Okay. Move on to 16, announcements. Any announcements, anyone? All right. Item 17, adjournment. I make a motion to adjourn the council meeting.
I second.
Councilor Davis,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Mauser,
Yes.
All yes. We. City Council meeting. Now let's move on to the Eufaula Public Works Authority. At, looks like 6:33. We will go into the Public Works Authority. Ms. Cox.
Councilor Davis.
Yes.
Mauser, Mayor Warren.
Here.
Councilor Duncan is absent.
All right, we'll go on to the agenda. Approve regular meeting, May 2nd, 2022. Approve May 2022 payroll figures for the Eufaula Public Works Authority in the amount of $50,196.66.
I make a motion to approve the minutes.
Councilor Davis,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Mauser,
Yes.
Mayor Warren,
Yes.
Councilor Kirby.
Yes.
All yes, consent agenda passes. We'll move on to item 4, consideration of acceptance, approval, adoption, rejection, amendment, and or postponement of pay application number 21 from Lone Hickory Cattle LLC in the amount of $117,933. Guys, we're trying to hold a meeting. I make a motion to approve item 4.
I'll second.
Councilor Davis,
No, it's item 4.
Councilor Davis,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Mauser, Mayor Warren,
Yes.
Councilor Kirby.
Yes.
I got more.
All yes, that motion carries. We'll move on to item 5, consideration of acceptance of adoption, rejection, amendment, and/or postponement of resolution 22-0603, adopting the fiscal year 2022-23 budget for the Eufaula Public Works Authority Fund and the Eufaula Public Works Authority Clean Water State Revolving Fund.
But you got shot, didn't you?
I kind of got jumpy there for a second. I'll make a motion to approve that, the budget. The budget.
I'll second it.
Counselor Davis,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Mauser,
Yes.
Mayor Warren,
Yes.
Counselor Kirby.
Yes.
All yes, that motion carries. Item 6, adjournment of the Eufaula Public Works Authority at 6:36. I make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.
Counselor Davis,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Mauser. Yes. Mayor Warren,
Yes.
Counselor Kirby.
Yes.
All yes, that motion carries. Now let's move on to the Eufaula Economic Development Authority. At 6:36, we will begin. Ms. Cox?
Counselor Davis.
Here.
Vice Mayor Mauser,
Here.
Mayor Warren,
Here.
Counselor Kirby,
Here.
and Counselor Upton is absent.
All right, we'll do approval of minutes, regular meeting June 7th, 2021. I make a motion to approve.
Second.
Counselor Davis.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Mauser,
Yes.
Mayor Warren,
Yes.
Counselor Kirby.
Yes.
All yes, that motion carries. With consideration, item 3, consideration of acceptance, approval, adoption, rejection, amendment, and/or postponement of resolution 21-0604, adopting the fiscal year 2022-2023 budget for the Eufaula Economic Development Authority Fund. I make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Counselor Davis,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Mauser,
Yes.
Mayor Warren,
Yes.
Counselor Kirby.
Yes.
Oh, yes, that motion carries. Item 4 is adjournment.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
Counselor Davis.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Warren, Vice Mayor Mauser, Mayor Warren.
Yes.
Counselor Kirby.
Yes.
Oh, yes, we are adjourned out of the Economic Development Authority.
Another meeting?
No, this is it. We're done.